Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So Taylor has graduated. We've left Kansas. We left like immediately 2 days after her graduation. We are in Bentonville, Arkansas. We just went for a ride here. It's actually sick. There's heaps of mountain bike trails and bike paths and stuff that go all over the place, so definitely recommend it. So what I wanted to show you today though, we've had an upgrade. I've mentioned it in a few videos already. We got a bike rack for a Connie and it is so sick. It's literally the perfect bike rack for a Ford Transit Connect. It's the Thule Raceway Pro, and this one has mounts for 2 bikes, but you can get one that has like for a third extra one. Now the reason this is like such a good rack is, I mean, firstly, it looks really nice, and secondly, with the way it mounts, you can actually open the door still. It's actually so sick. So if you've seen my other video, we had both of our bikes mounted inside the van, both of our roadies. But as you can imagine, that got a little bit hectic. It was just too small, too tight, and we could not move around at all. So Taylor really wanted this rack, and I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't want my bike outside, but eventually I was like, yeah, this is the way to go. So we picked it up, and yeah, I would never go back now. So let me give you a bit of a like overview of this rack. Yeah, so the way this rack works is it has this little key. I guess it's like a security thing, and inside there you can use those to, I guess, disconnect the mechanism inside here. And obviously, like, twisting this tightens these cords. So there's 2 cords that hold it up the top there, and 2 that hold it down the bottom here as well. And the way the system works is pretty good. Like, I managed to get it pretty tight. It's on there like pretty good. Once the bikes are on there, there's quite a lot of weight on there, so it's good that it holds it on pretty good. That can just kind of go back like that. It's the same on this side. They've also got this little security cord that connects in there. I obviously wouldn't trust that, you know, because, you know, someone would cut that with scissors almost. But I'll show you the setup we have to lock our bikes on there in a tick. It's really cool. Then obviously you have these straps to hold the bike on, and I'll show you us putting the bike on in a second. Also, these are really easily adjustable. So like, obviously you want to get them fairly level, right? You just pull that clip up and they move that easy, which is really sick. And now obviously, like I said, since we can still open the door, it worked out really well. And you'll see how far the bikes hang out over one side in a minute. It's not too much. They do hang out a little bit, but, you know, obviously the upsides of being able to actually still open that make it well worth it. Now down here, what I've done to secure this, because obviously I'm like, someone's gonna try and steal our bike, someone's just gonna take the whole rack off. And what I found was, under Connie here, right there, if you can see it, sort of, you might be able to see where that padlock is. There's actually some kind of tow point. So what I did was, I bought a bit of high tensile chain and then put it inside an old bike tube. And I locked it at the bottom there, as you saw. And then I wrapped it around the bottom of the rack and locked it as well. So, you know, that's like hard chain to cut. You'd need a grinder or something to cut it. And obviously the tube protects the body of Connie and the rack from getting scratched up, which is great. Then I have another piece here that I've got hooked up that I use to lock one of the bikes on. And then just our standard bike lock, which is also high tensile chain, to lock the last bike on. So let me whack them on there and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I've got one bike sitting on there. This is Taylor's Giant. This is like a size extra small. You can see just hangs over a little bit, maybe, I don't know, 200 mil. And then I push that right up this way. I'm trying to have, you know, the weight sort of in the center of the rack itself, so it's like well balanced. And now what I'll do is I'll just pull these quick straps over and pop them in. It's a little bit hard, like holding the phone and, you know, doing it. I'll pop this one on as well. Oops. Hopefully you can see that. Some of them are like, you can kind of see maybe it's like a little bit too tight. That one's in the way to pull it. So I'll just have to put it on a bit more loosely, that one. That's Taylor's bike on. Now, this rack did come with another feature. It clips in here and here, which is like an anti-sway thing. But I haven't really found that to be a problem, and it's just kind of a pain to put it on. So I'm not going to worry about it. I don't normally worry about it, and I'm not going to worry about it this time. So that's what it looks like with one bike on there. And let me just grab my bike and I'll chuck that on too. I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to do this while I'm filming. I usually take the mirror off and the GPS, obviously, because I don't want to lose anything. I already actually lost one mirror forgetting to take it off. So yeah, let's pop that off. Pop the GPS off. There's my toesies. I should be able to get it on while filming, maybe. A little bit hard. Wheel kind of goes in and then on. It's a little bit messed up there, but that just sits down kind of like that. I'll pull, it's hard because, I only got one hand. Just give me a sec. All right, it's on there now. I actually sort of took it off with two hands and moved it forward a bit because I like to try and have the weight balance on that rack. If it's too far to the left or to the right, you can kind of see that these tilt either way, if you can see it or not. So yeah, and then I just pull those straps on this one. That one I can kind of get tighter like that. And that's pretty much it, guys. It sits on there. It's pretty neat. You can see there, it's hanging over a little bit. Actually might be too much. I might actually like move that bike back a little bit. I mean, you can kind of place it wherever you want. You don't want to hang it out. Yeah, it's probably hanging out a little bit too much. So what I can do is I can have it positioned with that bar instead of on the outside. I have it on the inside. But anyway, I'll fix that in a minute. Another cool thing is you can still leave your water bottles in there. So I usually leave like a couple bottles in there just to get them out of the van. I usually leave a few bits in there, just nothing really that good. And all I do is I just chuck a bag that I have somewhere over my saddle just to protect it from the elements, because that's one thing I've noticed that, oh, what is that? What the hell is that? There's always something, I swear to God. Yeah, I usually I've noticed, that the elements do start to affect your bike. So if you don't want to do this with a bike you care about, I'll show you a couple of examples. So this hood on Taylor's bike, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of melted almost. Like, this wasn't like this before we had it outside. So the sun's clearly damaged these hoods. I've also noticed that the tops of my hoods, the hard plastic, is slightly discolored, which is kind of weird. This is just Shimano Claris though, so it's not that big of a deal. Also, my stem cap, the color changed. That was black. So is this. They were both black, and over about 2 months less, they literally changed color. So if anyone knows what the hell's gone in there, I got no clue. But I'm telling you, they were black, without a doubt. And yeah, the pedals just kind of sit wherever they want to. Not that big of a deal. If you wanted to, like, Taylor's got this rack on here. We could even have panniers mounted to that full of some more stuff if we had to. But like Taylor said, it gets a little too cluttered. Now let me show you opening this with the two bikes on there. I can just reach my hand through. It's actually really easy. And it opens up like that. And we have literally no issue with it. I was a little bit worried about the door hinges. There's just like two little hinges, but we really haven't found it to be an issue. It still shuts fine. It still all looks like it lines up okay. Just shut it like that. So yeah, that's pretty much why I like this rack, guys. And this is the bag that I usually put over my saddle. It's just a dry bag, and it has a clip on one end. So yeah, kind of fits one way. This bag is so discolored from being on this saddle for like a few months. As per usual, it's quite hard to do it one-handed. Yep. So that's like sitting over the saddle, and I just clip it around the frame, which I can't do right now, and then it doesn't blow away. I've considered putting a couple bags over the hoods as well. I think that would help a lot to keep everything in good order. By the way, did you like my number plate cover? Wouldn't you just love to know our personal identification? Taylor gets paranoid. I don't blame her. And now a personal interview of Taylor Hayden. What do you think of the new bike rack, Taylor?
I love the new bike rack because before the bikes took up so much space in the van and it was pretty hard for us to even like extend the bed out all the way.
COVID.
Okay. Also we have these tubs underneath the bed and it was really hard to open the tubs. We'd only get the tubs open like a few inches, so it was really hard to get into them. So yes, big ups to the bike rack. I very much enjoy.
Give us a thumbs up. Alright, so I've just locked the bikes up. I've got one lock on my bike, a separate lock, you probably can't see it, on Taylor's. That way I can just unlock mine if I want it and leave hers locked up without messing with it. A little tip I'd give you is go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get like a pack of 4 locks that all have the identical key. That just saves like a lot of hassle, which is what we did, and it's been so good. And yeah, definitely make sure you lock them though, guys, because they'll disappear if you don't. So yeah, that is the bike rack, the ultimate Thule Raceway for a Ford Transit Connect 2013. Highly recommend it. Let us know what you reckon in the comments, guys. Do you think that it's too much weight on the door? Do you think it should be all right? We've been doing it for a few months now, haven't had any issues. Do you think that it looks shitty? I mean, that's like one downside for us, I guess. Like, we're less stealth, but the longer we've lived in the van, we've realized it doesn't actually matter as much as you'd think. So let us know what you reckon. I mean, pros and cons. We'll give you the video a thumbs up if you liked it, guys, and thanks for watching.